All right, so imagine this. You're 7 years old. You can barely tie your shoes yet, right, Liddy? But you're taking apart not one, but a whole bunch of alarm clocks. You're not breaking them, though. You're trying to understand, like really get down into the gears of how they work.
That's Grace Hopper. At 7 years old, that drive, that just pure curiosity is what we're going to tap into today.
It's a great way to put it. And to our listeners diving deep with us right now, you probably get that same feeling, that urge to really understand. And that's what we're doing in this deep dive. The incredible life and work of Grace Hopper. And we're basing this all on the book, The Woman Who Spoke to Machines.
It's an incredible read.
Yeah. And this deep dive, think of it as a fast track, straight to the core of who she was. So we're going to uncover some key insights, get into her contributions, which were huge, by the way, and hopefully find a little inspiration for ourselves along the way. Because her story is about overcoming challenges and really pushing boundaries, ready to explore.
Absolutely. And I think what's really going to grab you is that her story, it's not just about tech advancements. It's really a testament to what humans can do when they face those deep-rooted obstacles, intellect and pure determination.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's rewind back to the beginning, those early signs. We've got the alarm clock story, which is a classic. Plus, her mom was a mathematician, right? I mean, you got to figure that played a role.
It's hard to imagine it didn't, honestly. Think about it. A parent who's deep into mathematical reasoning, that creates an environment, That kind of rigorous thinking becomes normal, part of how you grow up. It probably shaped her worldview without her even realizing it at first.
Totally. But it wasn't a smooth ride for her, was it? She had that foundation, but even then, Vassar. They basically told her, no advanced math for you, you're a woman. It's wild, right?
Oh, it completely. I mean, that's just the world they lived in. It's so outdated now. To limit someone academically, not because of what they can do, but because of their gender. But what's striking is how she responded. She didn't fold. She excelled.
Exactly. Didn't just accept it. Graduated top of her class. Then she goes to Yale. Same story, basically. This idea that women in science should be, like assistants or something. But she just kept pushing. And boom, PhD. I think that resilience is a key takeaway here. That refusal to quit when everyone's telling you no.
Absolutely. It's like that early resistance fueled her in a way. And that's a big part of innovation, isn't it? Sticking to your guns even when you face those systemic barriers, people doubting you. It's got to come from within.
Totally agree. So, jump ahead. World War II, things change. She wants to join the Navy, but again, blocked at every turn. Too old, too small, a woman. You almost laugh, but it's not funny, right? It just shows you what she was up against.
The prejudices, they were so deeply entrenched back then. Think about it. She needed a 15-pound waiver just to get past some rule. Shows you how much harder women had to fight just to serve their country.
Amazing. So she finally ends up at Harvard. Cruft Lab. Working on the Mark I, that thing was a beast, this huge computer filling up an entire room. And Grace steps into this world of, let's be honest, mostly men, engineers, not exactly welcoming.
You got it. And the way they talk about her in the book, things like, let the little lady handle the manuals. It's condescending, but it was common. But here's where it gets interesting. Most of the guys were focused on the mechanics, how powerful the machine was. But Hopper, she was already thinking about the human side of it, how people would actually use this thing.
And that brings us to the bug incident. It's famous. Mark II computer, a moth gets stuck inside, and that's where we get debugging from. But it's more than a funny story, right?
Right. It wasn't just finding the problem. She meticulously documented it. A moth, a physical glitch, and then a systematic fix. That methodical way of thinking, that attention to detail, that's classic Grace Hopper.
It is. So war's over. Back come those societal expectations. Women should be at home, right? That's the message. And Harvard denies her tenure. We don't hire full-time women? Can you imagine? But it actually leads her to Eckert-Moenchely Corporation, a big turning point.
Yeah, Harvard's loss was definitely someone else's gain. I mean, it's a clear example of how a closed door can sometimes lead to something much bigger and better. At Eckert-Moenchely, her groundbreaking ideas could really take off.
And they were radical. Back then, everyone thought computers only spoke numbers, raw code. But Grace, she imagines a compiler, a translator, something that can take English commands and turn them into that machine code. I bet people thought she was nuts.
Oh, absolutely. It went against everything they knew about computers. I mean, a complex machine understanding human language seemed crazy at the time.
But she doesn't back down. And in 1959, we get COBOL, a programming language that basically took over. Wall Street, NASA, all built on this. It's a massive achievement.
Huge. COBOL, it wasn't just clever technically, it was accessible. Programmers could write in something closer to regular English. So coding wasn't this niche thing anymore. More people could use it. And think about it. If we were still stuck with binary code, how different would our world be?
Right. And it doesn't stop there. They force her to retire from the Navy at 60, but then Y2K, remember that, total chaos. And they're like, wait, we need Grace back.
It proves how important her work was. Decades later, they're still relying on these systems she helped create. That they needed her expertise after she was supposed to be done, that says it all, really.
She doesn't just advise either. She gets to work, standardizing code across, get this, 7,000 languages. And she becomes the oldest active duty admiral at 79. Incredible. And, her office, the backward running clock, what a statement, right? Time, you manage it, it doesn't manage you.
That clock, it's brilliant. She wasn't afraid to think differently. It's like a reminder. Question everything. Approach problems in new ways. Don't be afraid to be unconventional.
Totally. But the book also brings up something important. After she passed away in 1992, she didn't get the recognition she deserved. Not like some of her male counterparts. Guys like John von Neumann, much more well-known. Why do you think that is?
It's that bias, isn't it? It's always been there. The contributions of women in STEM, they get overlooked. History tends to focus on the men, even when the women's impact was just as big or even bigger.
And it's not just the public not knowing. The book mentions that she was left off of patents. And early COBOL materials, they don't even mention her role in creating it. That's just wrong.
It really is. Patents, textbooks, their records, their history. And by leaving her out, it's not just about her. It's erasing the role women have played in tech. Even the debate about renaming Calhoun College at Yale in her honor, that shows you how much resistance there still is to really acknowledging her.
It's a good point. But even with all that, her influence is obvious, right? The book connects her work to all kinds of things we use today. GPS, spreadsheets, AI, chatbots, even the device you're listening to this on. It's all part of her legacy.
Exactly. Making coding accessible was huge. It opened the door for all these innovations, things that wouldn't exist without her work.
And her quotes. She could get to the heart of things so well. The most dangerous phrase is, "We've always done it this way." So true, even now.
Timeless. It's like her motto. Question everything. Don't just accept the way things are.
And the book talks about the USS Hopper, a Navy destroyer named after her. And COBOL is still being used for trillions of dollars in transactions. Her work is still making an impact.
It's not just history. It's alive. The USS Hopper, named after her, it's perfect. And COBOL, still powering crucial systems. It shows how strong her work was.
So powerful. And I love how the book brings it back to us, the listeners. It talks about the moth in the machine idea. It's like, find those obstacles in your own life, the things that are holding you back, maybe without you even realizing it.
It's a cool way to connect her story to our own lives. Think of your challenges as bugs, and then you have to debug them, just like Grace did, but in your own world.
And those key lessons from her life: break clocks, speak boldly, and debug systems. That pretty much sums up how she lived and what she achieved.
Yeah. Break clocks is about defying limits. Forget the rules, forget time. Speak boldly means don't be afraid to say what you think, to share your ideas, and debug systems. Take apart anything that's not working, whether it's tech, how your company works, or even your own habits.
Love it. And it all comes down to that question she always asked. Why not? Simple, but powerful.
It really is. Don't doubt yourself. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. That question, it's all about potential and believing in change.
So we've covered a lot about Grace Hopper, an amazing life and legacy. And what's clear is that she wasn't just about computers. She was curious, she challenged the status quo, and she changed how we interact with technology. Really, she changed how we think about innovation in general.
Definitely. And for you listening, her story is an inspiration. What are those assumptions that are holding you back? What are those ideas you have? Chase them. Don't be afraid. Be bold, be smart, and don't give up. Just like Grace.
Exactly. So think about this. What we've always done it this way in your own life needs a good why not. Give it some thought. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.